Good night, fellow punchers. The clock on the wall says 8:56 on Monday night. A very good evening weather-wise here. Sun is shining all evening and with a nice little bit of a breeze. But unfortunately, the racing in Linnaban, which is only about 12 miles away, was called off this morning. I didn't realise that there was a precautionary inspection. There was rain last night, but I didn't think it was that awful bad. There wasn't floods on the road or anything this morning. But apparently the part of the track on the far corner was a bit waterlogged. So that was a bit of a disappointment. It was a big loss to the town as well, because it creates a lot of employment, especially in a rural town. You consider pubs, restaurants, buses, taxis, off licenses, fast food restaurants, bookies, security, vets, record videos, whatnot. So it's a big loss, and they get 30,000 as well, you see, from Racing UK per meeting. So big loss. But it's an ill wind that doesn't favour someone. I got my lawn finished, and I only got started the other day, and I got half the back done. So I came into the last hour to get a couple of horses for tomorrow, and I was busy all day. Had to do a school run today, bring kids to a hurling match down in Kilmore from Craig's, and I thought it was drop them and collect them later in the day. It wasn't. Match was at 11:30 and just one match, so I had to wait, and then it was too late to come home, so I had the dinner in Roscommon. So it made Academy Day altogether. But anyway, we can't complain, I suppose. As long as we're able to do it, that's the main thing. But one horse running, I didn't run that well for us. I thought it'd sit in behind the five of them in a bunch. Instead of that, the five of them early across the track. Them tactics didn't suit. Ground was all right, I thought, but I was expecting that sort of to go closer today, not be last of five. I wouldn't be too keen on going back to it again the next year unless it's a big field, maybe back at Musselburgh again, where they go lickety-split. Anyway, tomorrow I've four horses, but there's two stronger fancies than the other two, so I'll give the four anyone that wants to do a small each way, lucky 15. They're all over the jumps as well. So let's see what we can do. The first one is the 4:20 at Fakenham. It's the Norfolk National. 3 miles 5. 11 declared. Duke de Beauchesne is the 7-2 favourite. We've seen that running lately because it was behind Latitude the day we were on Latitude recently. But I don't know, is it crying out for 3 miles 5? It hasn't ran beyond 3 miles 1 before. It won over 3 miles 1 in Wincanton, but went up £11 for that. But I thought a man that does fairly well in long distance chases, Christian Williams, he has a few winners lately in a couple of places, but he does well with. Now this hasn't ran in a while, but it looks to be that it might have been targeted for this. I like when he puts up a £7 claimer as well. It's 110 minus the 7, so that's 103, and it won in Newbury in Newton Abbot last July. I knew what I was going to say and I said it wrong. But he's slow. Watch, he's one pitched. He has the one gear. He's a relentless old galloper. That's him in second place there, under the cosh.
Porto Clock at the water. Over in good style from Jony Max, chasing hard. Ahead of Flying Verse, then Mulcahy's Hill, and Mellow Ben is staying on now down the outside, and Porto Clock just looking as though he's idling a little bit in front, just for a stride or two. Round that turn, and now Tom Scunamore gets to work on him. Chased by Jony Max, the consistent Jony Max, and then Mellow Ben. Here's the second last. Porto Clock going to be the first to rise. Jony Max getting closer in second, under a drive from Jack Tudor. They're away from Mellow Ben. Porto Clock being worn down by Jony Max as they race towards the final fence. Such an important jump. Who's going to meet it best? Jony Max on the outside, landed in front of Porto Clock. Can Porto Clock fight back? But it's Jony Max who's gone a length and a half clear and racing up towards the line. This consistent chaser, Jony Max, goes on to win. Porto Clock tiring in second. Mellow Ben in.
You could see him going another half a mile handy enough. He had his ears pricked there coming to the last. He went up for that. But he had a good run then in Cheltenham. It was 3 miles won last October. And he was out the back of the television, come around the turn for home. But yet he finished fourth. And he galloped on well up the hill. Today Jimmy the Digger won it. The last day ran it 2.5 miles, not far enough. This looks to be a plan. I'm hoping that I'm reading it right. He's an each way bet. He's 13-2, 6-1. Even though there's 11 there, I see a few bookies paying 4 places, including the green bookie. So Wake Up Early, a horse that won for us before, but I think this yoke might be competitive tomorrow. Where are we? 7 o'clock, Ludlow. A handicap hurl. Kincardine went out in front the last day, next to her, wasn't it? And jumped right a lot of the way, but held on to win. That was first run back after wind surgery. We have a horse that ran for us, and I tipped it in Cheltenham, Samuel Spade, but he sort of disappointed the last twice. But the ground was against him in all fairness now, because it was his better races were on good to soft. But he won actually soft in Kimpton, and he won on good ground that time. Bit disappointed the last year, but the ground was heavy, and he ran in Cheltenham in the Boodles. But he was a bit outclashed, but he was out in front. But he could be competitive tomorrow. But I thought Carroll's Pass at 5-1 was a sort of solid each way bet. She's lightly raced. She won in France last year, last June, in a hurl. Then she won a novice hurl, and she was fourth to Lucia in a listed hurl. Brought her back out to France, but then the last day she was 33-1, and she was carrying top weight in Ayr. In where are we here? This is us, and in Ayr.
Together there with Carroll's Pass as they went over through.
That's her in the yellow hat with the yellow sleeves in front.
Forcing ball as Carroll's Pass, She Likes the Lights, and Trappe Law are the leading trio, approaching 2 out. Affadil trying to stay on, back in fourth. By the same tokens, also creeping into this green jacket there with a white cap. Then First Impression, that was 2 for the end. Trappe Law the grey, and She Likes the Lights the white and pink silks from Carroll's Pass, and Affadil, who looks a big player on the run down towards the final hurdle. Trappe Law is in tight there, made a mess of it. Here comes Affadil to the near side, really finishing off the race strongly, and Affadil's hit the front now for Trappe Law. By the same token, running on well to grab second, but it's Affadil's race. Affadil under Harry Compton beats By the Same Token.
We were on Affadil that day, but I thought she ran well enough. She was given £11 to Affadil. She was carrying top weight and that. She went out from 12s out to 33s. I thought she ran well. and she stayed at it like up to the line to finish only 4.5 lengths behind. 11:13. She was given £12. There was good horses in that, so I thought she'd have an good each way chance in that. So there's 2 each ways, and then we've 2 that we 5:15 at here we are, Ffos Las. This is the horse we won on before. You Say Nothing. We won on it 2 runs back, and it was held on by a nose, but it was 2 miles 1 furlong. But then the last day, I didn't tip it up the last day because it went up from a class 5 to a class 3, and it went out in front, and it jumped very well, and it was still in touch. Actually, it was right with the leader return ticket coming to the second last. Absolutely clouted it, and walked home after the last, was tired. But it was a higher class race, two classes up. This is back to, this is a class 4, isn't it? Class 4. It's a front runner. It'll go out there tomorrow, and this is 2 miles as well. What price is it? It's an each way price as well. Paying 4 places. 11-2, 5-1, 6-1. So I'm trying to play it steady tomorrow. That and then one more for someone that might want to finish off the lucky 15. One that we tipped up the last day, and we thought the step up and trip to 3 mile would suit, and it didn't stay. It's back to a track, Ffos Las. We're on the 31st of January, 2 miles 6. It was 3rd. And then the distance, course of distance tomorrow, good ground, it was 2nd to Capage. There was a lot of money for the last. It was 11-2 into 5-2 favourite. But the track, its run style sort of suits this track, so I'm hoping that it can be competitive as well tomorrow. Back to only one thing, Evan Williams isn't firing on all cylinders.
Davis at this point as Copper, Cove and Capage, who've always been bang there, from Jaunty Viking 3rd, Moorland Rambler 4, Karakoram 5, Walk in the Woods 6, Brianna Rose 7, William Hewitt 8, Prince Imperial 9, Governor Green jumps in 10th, about 5 lengths off them, and then came the Scorpion King, who dropped away, an Accidental Legend still going some way behind, on down towards 2 from home, and Capage has gone into the lead for Fergus Gillard, from Copper, Cove and Jaunty Viking, and then Moorland Rambler, Prince Imperial, the light blue colours running onto the inside, as Capage landed 3 clear over 2 out, from Jaunty Viking, Copper Cove, Walk in the Woods behind them, Karakoram, very few have got involved, and they're not getting to Capage, who's down to the last, and going to jump at about 4 clear. Capage is over, from in second place, Jaunty Viking, Walk in the Woods keeping on, then Brianna Rose getting a second wind on the near side, it's Capage in front, from Walk in the Woods and Brianna Rose running on, but Capage in the first time visor has done enough. Capage, 3 parts of a length he saw off Walk in the Woods.
Hopefully he might be able to do that again tomorrow and get closer. There is a horse there that won for us last year, Fanfarandino. I think it was last March. But it must be injury prone because it has only ran lifetime about 7 or 8 times. Won for us last March in Fontwell. It was 2nd in November, and it hasn't ran since January on heavy ground, so it's hard to know what to expect of that. But the one thing about it is that Honeyball is on fire lately. The yard is I think it's 27% in the last 21 days. He's going well. But we might, anyone that wants to check it, that'll be the weakest or the dodgiest of the 4. I hope that other 3 are better than it. There's several newcomers on the bus lately, but I hadn't time today to put them together. But I'll get it the next day. There's There's one. Where are we? $505 at Lingfield. I haven't looked at this because the horse hasn't run at Lingfield. But it was in the tracker today. Kitog. Do you remember Kitog? For people that don't know it, Kitog is a left-handed person. It's Irish. Put a great stunt for us last September. 20s into 5s and won. But hasn't ran since November. But the thing about it is that Billy Loughnane is riding it for the first time tomorrow. But might keep an eye on it tomorrow. It hasn't run at Lingfield before. But Billy might get a tune out of him. Just keep an eye. It's a big price again. It's 14. If there was money for it, might be worth following because there was money for it that time when it won for us. There was a huge gamble on it. He got a bad ride a couple of times then after that. Although a fellow told me one time there was no such thing as a bad ride. Anyway, I'm rattling on. I should have looked at it earlier. Patch the bookies, over and out.